And we are returning. It's happening. Oh, there we go. Just a moment, y'all. There we go. And we are back. Hello, friends. I was doing a quick check. Panelists, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Great. the pin drop silence. Y'all were so ready. I appreciate it. Welcome on in, everybody. We are getting captions reset here. There's a lot to. Pardon me. I'm just going to talk while I get this resituated. There's so much to do here. I hope we're all doing wonderful. Thank you so much to our first panelists. We just had our intersectionality panel. We are going to be continuing on talking about access in gaming. And speaking of access, we're getting these subtitles looking fierce, looking cute. We have Enceladosauruses right here. Anyone watching, you're just kidding. This is just how my streams happen. We are always figuring it out. We are live 10 minutes before we're ready to be live. And it's a beautiful thing. So once again, welcome on in. Once again, let me get these captions situated as they're happening. Let me test them, actually. Hello, Brandon. Accessible Gamer, why don't you let the people know a little bit about yourself?
Well, excuse me. My name is Brandon, and I am a Twitch streamer under the handle Accessible Gamer. I also dabble in online activism, and I am one of the admins for the Accessible Streamers stream team and community, which is a team on Twitch composed entirely of people with physical disabilities, cognitive disabilities, auditory disabilities, and visual disabilities, as well as chronic illnesses.
The rundown. And we did just get a very exciting shout out for accessible streamers, and like Brandon said, Accessible Gamer is actually that's how I personally found out about the accessible streamers was through Brandon. And I know we have multiple members on our panel today, so let's keep it rocking. Enceladosauruses, hello.
Hi everyone. My name's Jess, and I stream programming, data science, machine learning stuff, and of course video games. I am a huge fan of video games. I've loved them my whole life, and I'm dabbling also in game development, though I'm really bad, which makes for lots of fun adventures with how terribly I can make games. I'm also a member of the Accessible Streamers stream team, which is awesome, and yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have y'all, and looking so fierce, loving this hair. And
Thank you.
I'm going to do one quick little, let's see. Can you give us another comment, Enceladosauruses? I'm just test driving your captions. We're doing it live, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to the panel.
Are they working?
They are not working.
I have the worst luck with captions. No, it says it's recording.
This is where we're learning. We're experiencing it right now. I'm going to be troubleshooting some things behind the scenes while we're continuing introductions.
Did you share the link for broadcasting yourself or sharing?
It was the broadcasting one.
Yes.
It was definitely the broadcasting one, but don't worry about it. I will take care of all of this. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? It's always.
Let me know if I need to change anything.
I will.
I am cursed when it comes to captions.
Who is it? You know what I'm saying? The captions are cursed. And right next to Enceladosauruses, we have our friend Hydro Troop, who is joining us once again from Stream Queens Con. Tell us about yourself, Hydro. Great to see you again here.
Hi, I'm Hydro. Hello, I stream a lot of GTA RP. I used to play a lot of other games that I stream, like first-person shooters like Destiny, a little bit of Fortnite, and like fun story games and stuff like that. But now I'm so deep into GTA RP, and it's a lot more fun, and I'm loving it. No, I talk about, I love doing things like this. I can talk about service dogs and like how I train them and stuff for people with disabilities. And I talk about access to like TwitchCon last time and things like that. And I try to make sure like it's accessible for everybody, not just for me. I try to like find out more about others and like what are other people's needs and think about things while also taking the time to teach my friends, teach my viewers, teach, anybody that I come into contact with, because I want it to be better for all. So that's what I do. And I'm a big nerd. I'm a huge nerd.
Yes, I love that. I used to actually live next to a dog training facility, and I learned that the fleas can get into the home, and they liked my roommate's blood and not mine. Work. So that was rough. Anyway, Right next to me over here, we have our friend Smallsy. Hello, Smallsy. Tell us about yourself, my dear friend.
Hi, I'm Smallsy, part-time streamer, full-time clown. I stream here on Twitch. I do a variety of games, chatting, all that jazz, chaos, all of that, you know.
Very
Bit
chaos.
of everything. Very chaos, very chaos. But that makes it fun. It keeps it fresh. But yeah, I play a lot of player games on stream, and I just clown around.
Absolutely
Sell
love.
yourself. I can't give you anything. Sorry, but that really just describes me.
Hey.
Chaos and clownery. That's it.
Chaos and clownery. I'm here for all these things. Listen, that's we share the same brand. Perfect. And listen, they're putting in more hours than I am this con. We have Jay Justice right over here holding it down once again. Hi, Jay.
Hi, my name is Jay Justice. I am a cosplayer as well as an editor and consultant and advocate for all marginalized people. I also stream on Twitch at That Jay Justice. My consulting and editing skews towards graphic novels, like doing stuff for the Adventure Zone graphic novel, as well as doing editing and consulting for video games. Like if you've played the Dungeons and Dragons licensed game Idle Champions, I worked on that one. That was a lot of fun. I have some really cool stuff coming up soon, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And video games to me are like not only an escape, but a way to feel like you're part of something bigger. And I love that the community that we're building for ourselves is just so amazing and so great. Happy to be here, guys.
It's really fierce. It's I'm so happy that you said that. I'm very excited to be doing something like this. I'm personally hitting my 1 year on Twitch next week, and I would never have imagined that like we'd be having these sort of conversations. And let's just keep doing this. This is cute. For anyone that doesn't know me, I go by I'm a Betty Black because everywhere I go, people say I'm Betty Black, and they're right. Variety drag streamer, member of Team Stream Queens. Today is not about me. We're going to be getting into access in gaming. We're talking about gaming in the industry. We're talking about physically just gaming and playing the things that we love in the comfort of our own homes and wherever. And we're going to talk about companies and games that get it right, ones that get it wrong, and what y'all are doing to drag who needs to get dragged, for lack of a better term, and praise who deserves the praise. So let's start off with something fun. Let's start off with what are we all currently playing right now, whether it's on stream, personal. What do we got? Smallsy. I'm looking at Smallsy first.
You're looking directly at me.
I saw you.
What am I playing right now? I'm playing a whole lot of Stardew Valley. Obviously, that's quite popular at the moment, so I've been playing a heck of a lot of that. I am also a League player, and
Okay.
come on, toxicity. It's
I was gonna say it's super toxic.
Yeah, look, you mute everyone, you just do your own thing, and you just run around and you ignore everything else that's going on. The 50 million pings telling you doing the wrong thing, they don't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter.
Do it.
Who is that?
I just want to say, Smallsy, it's really brave of you to come out and say that you play League
You're a
of
League player.
Legends.
Yeah, I know. It's been a hard time for me, and I'm ready to admit
that couldn't
it.
have been easy.
Okay,
And
I'm right there with you.
Oh
we're
my
all here to support
God.
you.
Bravery.
Thank you.
We're off to a great start. Not bravery.
I appreciate your support during this
Oh my
time.
God. We're actually Smallsy, we actually brought you here because we need to talk to you.
Not the intervention.
It's not really a con.
It's a
This whole
trap.
thing was a setup.
Right. So and tell the source. I saw you get very excited about Stardew Valley. Are you playing that? Are you playing some other things?
So earlier in the pandemic, I played a lot of Stardew Valley because I find it just very soothing. Recently, I'll say that I've played through Spiritfarer, which is incredible for the Nintendo Switch. I cried. I don't usually cry at things, but that one hit me hard. Also played Breath of the Wild because I guess I'm really behind the times. And to just like also emphasize that I played BioShock for the first time. I don't know if I have to like turn in my
I
gamer
did that
card or
recently,
something.
too.
But
No, I stand with you. I've never played a Zelda game. I too just started BioShock. I stand with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I will keep no spoilers. It is mind blowing. Like there's something that when you get like seriously ping me when you get there. But and Smallsy, I'm really sorry to throw a little more shade your way, but I play the better version of League, which is Dota.
There's
But I'm
gonna be a
very
fight.
bad, so I think that kind of balances it out. Because by being like the worst Dota player in probably the entire world, yeah, I have no claim to like sass or anything. But
Being the worst Dota
had
player
to
still
tease
means
a
you're a
little
better
bit.
League player than anyone else.
I mean, I was kind of.
Is this the Dragon League of Legends panel? I had no idea I was going to be welcomed home. I love this.
I've been on it.
Is anyone feeling like they need? Does anyone need to defend League of Legends? I will give you the floor if you.
No,
If you-
no one needs to defend
Nope.
League of Legends.
No,
No, not
that.
even the people playing it. Absolutely
Okay,
not.
for that great fake out, we'll pass it over to Brandon. What are you playing right now, my friend?
Oh gosh. I've got these being a person with a physical disability, I've got these horrible rage issues that can only be alleviated by shooting lots of imaginary things. And yeah, so I've been playing a lot of the Division 2, in addition to Warframe, which I do a lot of. I'm also starting to get back into Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I saw that.
On the MMO scene, and I love BioWare. I mean, BioWare, the games that they've made over, especially between like the old Dungeons and Dragons games going all the way up to Dragon Age Origins, they were so accessible for me. Just being able to have an isometric top-down view, being able to stop the flow of time and restart it whenever I want to, like, tactically do stuff. So I want to be able to give them a bit of a nod, and I'm happy to be able to play a game like that again. I actually haven't played Inquisition yet. I've only played the first two, and it's something I should do. I really should. No, I have it. I just haven't played it yet. It's on my that enormous backlog of mine.
The never-ending.
Never-ending backlog.
Y'all are dropping some gems that I am really into. I'm fully just moving these captions around. And Celodosaurus, are these your captions? Can you say something? Don't mind me.
Please, captions. I am speaking.
These are not in Celodosaurus' captions.
They still hate me.
Okay, anyway. Jay, what are you playing, my friend?
Oh, the minute you said BioWare, homie, I was like, yeah.
I saw you.
BioWare is life. I love it so much. Been replaying everything. I cannot wait for the remaster. Oh my god. Of Mass Effect trilogy. That's the remaster.
Oh, I cannot wait for Mass Effect.
When is that happening?
Oh, it's gonna be so good. We're still waiting on.
Yeah, we're waiting for it. They said spring, but we ain't got no date.
That's all we know. So sometime
Spring is
in the next
cool.
few months.
I can roll with that. As long as it's not like a console exclusive release, because when they did that with Final Fantasy VII, that just broke my heart into a million pieces.
Oh, that wasn't BioWare now, was it?
No, it was not. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And really quickly, before we continue, I do want to just mention to the chat, we are experiencing some difficulties with some of our captions. I do very much apologize. Anyone who uses captions knows that this is an issue. Of course, it's happening at an accessibility panel. We'll talk about it. But stick around.
Twitch could make them part of the platform.
I knock on Twitch's door.
Yeah, I just want to jump on the people who are playing games that didn't come out anytime this year or even in the last, decade. No, but I've just been finally getting into and finishing Fallen Order, which was such a really fun game.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was great.
All the single player games with no multiplayer at all, just me and some lore and jumping and shooting stuff or hitting with lightsabers, whatever. That was fun. I started playing Control, which is really spooky and fun. It has so much interesting lore about it. Yeah, I wish I played that years ago, but hey, never too late, right?
Never too late.
That's been really interesting.
Jay, do you use a controller or do you play keyboard mouse typically?
Depends on the game. I prefer controller strongly because it's really hard for me because I have arthritis in my hands to try to like do the keyboard movements. Probably the only game where you kind of have to. There is no way. If you figured out a way, someone tell me, how do you map all of the Dragon Age Origins inputs into a controller? Because I can't do it.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
It's
That's
impossible.
the question the Sphinx asks you. I'm gonna die in front of the pyramids because I don't know. Nobody else knows either. So that's one of those games where if you play on PC, you have to use a combination of like the mouse and keyboard. And like if you wanna, you can do like the fighty stuff with the controller.
You know what you could do? You know what you could do?
On PS4?
No, get the Xbox control adapter thing, and you get all the attachments that you put on it, and you can move that around because I know you can use that with a controller. So you would be able to use the touchpad and things on it. Maybe get a couple buttons for like your feet and stuff.
I will put that on my Ko-fi as a goal. People want to throw some coins in the hat. Give me one of them, Johns. I'm here for it.
The other controller I can recommend to you is the Xbox One Elite controller.
Yes.
I have mine off the back, but you can get an additional 4 buttons back here. So you can create a couple different combinations. I have mine turned off, and if it wouldn't be a distraction, I would go up and get the other buttons, but they actually have 4 paddles that go back here.
Paddles are life-changing.
Cool.
I'll go do the math and see if that's enough extra buttons for you.
It is seriously that my shout out to my younger brother who got me one for Christmas one year because I really struggle with the joints in my hands as well. And anything that requires like depressing the sticks to like run, for example, which is really common, I really struggle with that. And so having the paddles on the back and having the ability, you can also like change the like trigger depth, so you can you can put less pressure on the trigger for it to trigger.
That is amazing.
Excellent controller, like, and very, very, very comfortable. So
there's so much nuance to
it.
it.
Look at those paddles.
Oh wow.
So here you can see like they just sit back here, and then this way you can like create different combinations, like maybe hit 2 of these at once, or 2 over here, or the top 2, bottom 2, and that'll get you your more mapping control options. And then what's cool about the Elite is it's more customizable, is it actually comes with 2 different D-pads, and then it comes with different heights for this. So I would say this is one of their more accessible controllers. The only thing I will say about this controller, if you do it, go to some place like Best Buy and get like the 2-year replacement warranty on it, because the side comes off a lot and it does break a little bit. And then the plastic they designed up in here wasn't that great for the top bumpers. So I do recommend getting like one of those replacement ones so you don't have to pay $150 every time this thing breaks. But other than that, it's a good controller.
That's incredible.
It's really awesome, and like the different stick heights and shapes was really, really nice too. So I could actually like make one of them higher, one of them lower, so I could like have better. Basically,
this is what it all came with.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
You can see like all the different pads it came with, and
Oh, neat.
That's great that it's like that. It's adjustable to like satisfy different needs.
Yeah.
Before we jump into, I think we jumped into it as soon as we started. But before we continue, let's get Hydro Troop introduced. Hey, Hydro, what you playing?
Hey, so lately I've been playing a lot of GTA RP. I love twitchrp.com. That's a great server. I've met other awesome, amazing disabled creators over there. I play, they create ways to include their disability in their characters, so that way they don't have to like always like make excuses. Like one streamer, she has Tourette's, and she makes all of her characters have Tourette's, so that way if like she suddenly does something, it's normal to her character and it's not out of way. And I've noticed people are really patient with me with my PTSD. When my brain gets overloaded, they know like when to like just boom, 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 get me through a situation. Everybody's been super chill. And then on the side, I play like story games. Like I'm still finishing The Last of Us Part 2. I can't wait for the next, what do you call it? Horizon Zero Dawn game.
Ooh.
I can't wait for the Mass Effect redo. Super excited about that. And then I'm still waiting, and I don't know when it's going to come out, but Bayonetta 3. I've been waiting so long for this game.
Give us
Bayonetta. The other day
Bayonetta.
I saw.
I thought that was the second game you were going to say, and I stopped myself.
Girl, I cannot wait for Bayonetta 3. I have been just dying on the inside. I want to play it. I want to play it so bad.
I just installed a Kermit mod to Bayonetta, so I'm going to be playing that as Kermit the Frog very soon. Anyway,
wow.
Nice.
so in relation to the games that we play, and we sort of jumped into it, even just talking about controllers. What are some of the I guess in relation to games that y'all have experienced? What are some of the needs that you have for how you game and how you most enjoy gaming, and how do you play what you need to play?
A lot
The
of games.
controller was
Sorry,
huge
go
for
ahead.
me. Oh no, go.
You're saying the game controller was the big shift for you and stuff, or Jess?
That was huge. So that really helped a lot because there are certain I would say it's for me at least a lot of times it's part the settings that the game offers me so that I can customize and tune things, and it's part the equipment I have. And so for some things, it really is like if a game doesn't offer something, I'm gonna struggle. And so that's things like anything that requires like button mashing. I just like, my joints are just not gonna do it. It's gonna be a really bad situation. I will try, but it's gonna be uncomfortable and painful, and I'll be able to play for shorter periods, and I'm less likely to also come back to the game. So it's weird because whereas I think a lot of things I find that just being able to tweak the settings is enough. For me, it's like an even split between being able to customize the equipment that I play the game with, and then also being able to find games where the developers have given me the options to change the game so that I'm able to play it.
Yeah, it's the twofold thing. What else does anyone want to add in? Jay, you're gonna say something as well?
You're muted.
Okay. So a couple of things that with me, because I have multiple different disabilities, people sometimes think, oh, this game has a colorblind mode. That's all it needs. It's ready to ship. Wait, no. There's so many other. And that's not to attack colorblind mode. I'm just saying that just pick one out of a hat. There's so many different things that can make a game more playable to more people because there's like thousands of different types of disabilities that I could name and more that I don't know of. I think that games, for me personally, that have haptic feedback as well as a sound, as well as a visual, like if you have multiple ways for the player to know there's something to react to, that is going to make your game like miles above anybody else's, and you need to do that like, by default. And I really like how in Control, for example, when you go to the settings menu, which it gives you two chances to do it before you start the game, so you can't mess up and go, oh no, I forgot subtitles. You can like really fix the settings to make it easier for targeting. Like if you have hands that shake, it has an auto target that is like so helpful. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And you can toggle that, you can change difficulty. I do feel that the way that the language they use in the menu is very discouraging. Like you shouldn't tell the player, are you sure you want to do this? Like the way that they say is like, oh, well, this is going to change your gameplay. Like the language that you use when you're describing accommodations to someone is really important. And something can be accessible and doesn't mean it's like infantilizing the game or it's ruining the narrative. It's just making the game playable.
That's it. It's accessible.
Yeah,
I feel like you see that a lot with difficulty settings too, and I hate to open this whole form because I do feel that this is like a very controversial thing, unfortunately. And hot take, I don't think it needs to be, but when you have the different difficulty settings, I found that when it's like, oh, easy mode or something, or like, oh, story only, and you're kind of like, it feels like they're talking down to the player versus I've seen difficulty settings that are either very detailed where you as the player can customize, the number of enemies, or like let's lower enemy health or something so that you can customize it to your needs, or they just have descriptions so that you know what you're getting yourself into versus just very, if you think about it, arbitrary and uninformative titles of easy, medium, hard, which is very relative. And easy on one game might be hard on another. And so it kind of gets back to something that I don't know about all of you, but I found is almost like a great guiding principle of accessibility in anything, but in particular gaming, which is like the more power you give to the disabled person to be able to customize their experience and to tweak things, so that the more ability you give them to like turn knobs and tweak things and make it customized for them, the better. And
something like a
way,
designable default, right? Like
where like you are letting the player adjust things so that they can interact with your content and also still be able to, like, if you want to have the widest player base possible, which you know, even just from a business perspective, that's probably smart. Not to mention, of course, like it's the right thing to do. You know, you need to give people the ability to change these options to adjust things, and especially you know, Hydro Troop, you mentioned PTSD, but having you know, toggleable, if there's going to be traumatic scenes in your game, they should not be mandatory. They shouldn't.
Yes.
And to me, like, there are whole games that I'm just like, I cannot play this game, whole movies.
Yeah.
But still, like, you know, especially for an interactive medium like a game, at the very bare minimum, you should be very explicit about what's in your game so people can choose whether or not. But if it's like a scene or something, allow people to skip it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
Just
like
things
for
like that, you know?
yeah, like I'm playing through The Last of Us 2, but I have to take it in small chunks because of my PTSD, because of jump scares, because of the content that is within it. But I have to praise them because the accessibility settings that they had in that game was just bar way above, because you didn't have, like, you know, mentioned earlier, like easy, hardest. No, you choose like what level you want your enemies at, what your resources at, your this, so it like can really fully customize and like enhance the game in ways that you want to. And but sadly for somebody like me, I hate spoilers, man. I fucking hate spoilers. But because of my PTSD with games like The Last of Us 2, I have to look up what is going to be in this game. Like when I played the first Last of Us, I knew the winter months were going to be hard. Everybody told me that. So I literally would play like a couple hours, wait 2 weeks, come back at a couple hours, wait 2 weeks, and come back, and like rinse and repeat because of things like that. Or like Destiny, I love Destiny. I do.
Yeah.
That game drives me up the wall with accessibility. Destiny 1, I could not play that game by myself as a solo player. I was a day one player, and I could not finish the beginning mission. If you guys played it, you have this one mission where it completely darks out your screen except for your ghost is like your flashlight. And then you have all these exploder thralls coming at you, and that's also at a non-respawn point. So you gotta run past all these thrall or kill all of them if you can. And then you get to the boss, where if you die at that boss, you have to relive that dark black tunnel all over again. And it triggered me in such bad PTSD, anxiety, I couldn't do it. So I stopped playing the game until like King's Fall was almost done as the expansion. And somebody's like, no, let's take you back. And they like walked me through, and I started getting good at it. I became a mentor admin and stuff like that. But then as I like started teaching people raids and like helping them through, I realized how inaccessible the game was. Because in the second Destiny, the very first raid that they dropped, the Leviathan, there's a section, it's like the maze running. You have 3 people that go inside the maze, 3 people that stay out. And what people tell you in the maze is they'll be like middle. And so you'll see dog middle, and that's what the person's supposed to shoot the triangle. So you have to actually talk throughout the entire raid. So somebody who is hard of hearing, who can't see, you're not going to see with the colors that they have in there. They're not going to know what's top, mid-level, what's cup, what's this. They can't hear the people that are inside. So we had to literally go out of our ways to like come up with you have special emotes on the like the D-pad. So we would push like Hydro Troop dances for dog top, or you know, sits for this, waves for this. So we had to like we as the players had to come up with that. But the text is so tiny that you see what the players are doing. So whoever can't hear has to like not only look at this tiny little thing, but then go shoot, look, like look, shoot, look, shoot, look, shoot, and like figure out where to run and stuff like that. And then like they have another section like that where you split the team again, and it's all about call outs. And it like I get like they want to keep those challenges and things, and that's cool, but they really block out a lot of people. They have the color mode accessibility that everybody always mentions. That's the easy one. We can get the color blind going. But they do stuff like that. And then the other thing that drives me up a wall for multiplayer games like that is when they make challenges and goals and things that require other people to play with, or you can't do the content. And it's especially in Destiny, they don't have matchmaking for everything. And if you try going through their website to get raid finders and stuff like that, you get into some of the most toxic, horrible people. And like I practically have to beg my way through finding good people to get through. Like I want to play this new season right now, but I haven't found the time to run with like people I know from TRP that run it. Like I'm on a different sleep schedule than them, and so like I'm not running Destiny with them. But then like if I want to go do it on my own time, I'm like, well, where am I gonna go find these people? Do I just go find this random group that's just gonna like complain the whole time through, and it's not gonna be accessible? So I hate being locked out.
Why is your guardian insert racial slur here? And I'm like, I have to go. Like I can't. I can't
Yeah.
say random
Oh my
people.
god.
They just jump right to it. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
they do. They start on the homophobia right away. They start on the racist comments. It's just the transphobia. It gets
and they don't have to know
wild.
anything about you to get going.
You guys are more than welcome to come by Warframe. It's very similar, and the community is very, very,
I will
very,
vouch for that.
very non-toxic.
Okay.
The Warframe community is amazing, and
They're
jumping
really
from that
helpful.
and then jumping on League is a complete polar opposite. Like Warframe is perfect. Like everyone in Warframe is amazing. It is just
They're really
incredible.
helpful and will like
Yeah.
But I'm just like, but Destiny's all I
carried
can
is your
really
birthright.
speak to. Destiny's all I can really speak to on that, other than like Fortnite with some of their challenges. Whereas their game used to be super accessible with their challenges, but then whatever they've done these last 3 seasons, the menu for finding challenges is so not user friendly. I am very overwhelmed. I'm not interested in playing right now. And it's not as easy where I got to choose what challenges I needed help from my teammates. But not only that, it had to be teammates that were your friends in your party, not who you queued with either. So again, you're stuck with that. You have to have friends to play to get these challenges done, like sniping. I can't snipe. Hi, I'm Hydro. I can't snipe. I'm not Dr. Lupo. I'm not going to get those 50 headshots that you need on these weapons. Like, I need somebody to sit in my party with me, be my best friend, and do that challenge for me, but I can't select for them to do that anymore. And it's infuriating, like, that they went so backwards on the accessibility on that.
Hydra, I think you brought up something like really, really cool, which is something that Jay brought up earlier, which is in that I don't play Destiny, sorry. So if I butcher this, correct me. But that maze challenge, right? The ability, because I think Jay, you mentioned how games for you are more accessible when there's multiple ways that like the developers are communicating information to you. And I feel like that's another one of those like guiding principles of, you know, accessibility in games is communicate information to your players via multiple different things. Don't just rely on color, don't just rely on sound, you know, communicate this to your player through multiple different avenues, because then you're able to, not only do I think that makes for better game design, honestly, and that's just like that is this thing that I just, in the core of who I am, I deeply believe is that when you make things, anything, not just games, more accessible, you actually make it better for everyone. And
No, I absolutely agree.
And what you were saying about those multiple ways of communicating information, like, you know, I am not low vision myself. I'm not blind, but I've played with players who are blind, and they will immediately kind of tell me, wow, you know, like I can't tell which direction I'm facing because it's just kind of monotonous sound or something. And it's made me think more intentionally when I'm playing games about, well, okay, I can see I can interact with this ledge, right? How do I know I can interact with that ledge? I literally just know because it's highlighted with like yellow or white or something. And when you only communicate things to players in one way, you exclude so many people. Not only do you exclude disabled people, which you shouldn't do, but you're also excluding new players who maybe people have never touched a video game. I taught like my 70-something-year-old grandmother to play a video game, and she was just like, I mean, she didn't have that gamer knowledge of like, oh, that ledge is highlighted. That means I can, you know, jump on there. And so you're restricting yourself. You're limiting the impact of your game. And if games really are about creativity and, you know, an art product that you want to share, you should want to share that with the widest audience possible. You know?
I mean, and that's important too. But what's really funny to me is how the need to perpetuate get good culture is somehow more important than making money. How is that more important than making money? You will make more money if you drop that nonsense culture and just
stop
make
it.
it accessible.
It's because of the people at the top.
You like money?
I think the way their
What
thought
is up
process,
with gaming as a culture? Seriously.
Yeah.
I think their thought process in that isn't about the. I think their thought. I think their thought process there, where it's not about the money aspect by including everybody, because they know what it's like if you have something that's a limited resource, and that's what they're creating that demand right there by, oh, if only the top can do this, which causes more people to want to buy it. And that's the market that they're feeding into. They're not thinking about the casting the wider net. They're thinking about put that hook out there with that bait that's going to grow in the ones that are going to bring them the money, the attention, the streamers and things like that. And that's what they're focusing on.
Where did this
and unfortunately that's the culture.
where did this idea of something being accessible means it's easier come from, when in reality it's not? And if anybody's been playing on hard mode, it's someone who can't see the video game they're still kicking ass at. Like, I just
Yeah.
Actually, if I could just like
please go ahead, jump
chime
there.
in on that.
Yes, go ahead.
I think that comes from, and I really hope I don't like tip a wider argument with this, but I think it comes directly from Software and Dark Souls.
Okay, please.
Yes.
We've got
Yes.
all of
We're dragging
Yeah.
all the
We've got,
heavy
like,
hitters today.
We are gonna go there.
such a popular
Go
game
there.
Mhm.
with no like difficulty settings, but then it is like an ability barrier or an ability gate to getting into this content, getting to learn the story. And yeah, of course you can get people to spawn in and help you, but that's not always like a guaranteed thing. And not everybody likes to play that way. And I think this was brought up earlier when they were talking about like principles of game design. Whenever somebody asks me how they can make their game more accessible, the first thing I always explain to them is that accessibility isn't about like having this feature for these people or this feature for those people, but creating options. And the more options you create in a game, the more that those options will be used by people that who weren't specifically intended or specifically targeted for that design feature.
Yeah.
So like for example, when subtitles first hit the scene, they weren't like automatically set by default. Nowadays nobody even bothers to turn them off. So it just goes to show that like a lot of these things that people add for just to improve access, it really makes a difference in the experience and the quality of gameplay for a lot of able-bodied people as well.
Definitely.
Completely agree. And I
Mhm.
think
And
it's something that I found when kind of consulting with companies or conferences and stuff on accessibility, which is obviously different than games, but still, they'll come to me and be like, well, okay, so, we did this for blind people, we did this for deaf people, we did it. And I'm like, you're thinking about it backwards.
Yeah.
If you try to imagine in your mind all of the possible disabilities and combinations of disabilities, you will fail. Because also health is evolving. Like, people are going to have different needs. Some people might not identify with the label disability, but they might have needs of their own. And so instead, to your point, like if you provide the widest amount of options and you provide information and you give back to the people the ability to tweak that experience, then you don't have to sit here and go, okay, I've got my, massive list of disabilities and I'm checking them up. Like, that is not the way to go about it, because you have to kind of flip it on its head. And instead of trying to think about it as what disabilities are there and what can we do for them, you think about, how can we make this customizable? How can we make these options something that the players themselves can toggle? But I also, I think, Smalls, you were trying to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got really excited.
I just wanted to mention, like, when Accessible Gamer mentioned, like, the subtitles, like, some games still don't have them on from the get-go.
They don't.
And they should.
Nope.
They
Right.
need to. Every single game should have subtitles from the get-go. Like,
Period.
there is no reason for it to not be there. Like,
It
it's
helps.
Especially
like,
you gotta wait for the menu to get to it, right?
Exactly.
Like you,
Agreed.
Yeah,
it's like,
and
oh,
if
you can
people
turn them
don't
on when
want
you get
them,
to the
they
menu, but
you could turn them off.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
like,
lot
you
better
don't
to
really-
really-
to
No.
remove an option that's like set by default than it is to force people to find the option they need and turn it on.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
I think the other issue that we've seen a lot though with the pandemic that I've also seen in gaming is that once it's convenient for able people is when we start to see things. And like a biggest example I can give to that is Among Us. When they pick the different meme rounds that they want to try and do, like they've done the proximity chat, or they did people did the grayscale challenge where they turned off all the colors. That was a big challenge because people couldn't do wires, and they're like, oh, I can't do wires. And then next thing you know, an update in Among Us, which I love them for jumping on it, but now they have the symbols that you can match the wires to, not just the color. And so like, I'm, you know, good on them for adding it, but the fact that it took like people like creating this hard mode, bro, you know, that they start to notice things like that. And that's that, I think that's what's annoying for any game, is just like suddenly when an able person wants it, like all these work from home situations that we've been trying to get for years and things like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a problem that spans so many issues though, because it's the same thing with, you know, like when white people are more affected by when white people can see what's happening to people of color, suddenly we need to take BLM more seriously.
They're like, oh, we should add this.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say, Jay?
It's almost like it's almost like not being affected by something is a privilege, and the only way to really have it be addressed is to involve people who are at that marginalization at the conception of the project.
Yes. And that's why, you know, tech being so like homogenous and being all, like so white and so male dominated is, you know, that is not a good thing.
Because there's a through line in the way that people are responding to sort of like, you know, these preventative steps to cancel culture, to be like, okay, what can I say, tweet, or do? How can I apologize to cover my ass? Instead of how can I just be a good person? How can I, you know, fight for equity for people, period. Like that isn't the end of the sentence.
Cancel culture doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, agreed. But like when you make the people who are being affected by something do the education and do the change, right? Like that's just creating more barriers. And I feel like if anything, that both accessibility but also making things, I would say, accessible from any kind of marginalization is tearing down the barriers in the first place. It's not providing people 90 different ways to overcome the barrier. It's like, how about you get at the root of what the barrier is in the first place and remove it? And that actually, it makes whatever it is you're working on better, but it also, it takes away the burden. Like, I'm reminded of, you know, I've helped a lot of, I've done consulting in the academic space, and for students to get accommodations, the process is brutal.
You gotta jump through so many hoops. I remember that, and it's not fun.
And often, even like for me, when I was in graduate school, I got accommodations, and then I was discriminated against for having them because, you know, professors thought, just like with video games, that it was easy mode, that I was somehow taking their class and it was going to be easier for me. And, you know, just like with games, I think that the problem is that there is content out there that is inaccessible from the default. Yeah. And then we're trying to sit here after the fact and go, well, you know, what kind of stuff can I slap on top to like appease people, when it should be that these are the principles, these are the things that we should believe are good design. That like, if you do this, you are not designing a good game.
Exactly.
That,
it's like, you know, leaving out pillars in a house. Like you're building a home, you're just leaving out entire pieces. And then when nobody wants to move into it, you're left wondering, why is no one moving into my house? But
like my asbestos house, like, no thank you.
Not me, Dotiliama.
It's like a house with no staircase to the front door, and they think everyone can just jump to get into the house, and we're like, no, you shouldn't have to jump through hoops literally just to play this game.
It sort of speaks to what Intellidosaurus was saying earlier about like when they were teaching, you know, their grandparent how to play a game, and you have to rework. You have to think differently. You can't just assume that everyone knows how these things work, or, you know, you can't assume that how you've always done things will work for everyone either.
Yeah.
And Jay Justice made a good point about like needing to have these people on the team from beforehand, because you all remember that game that came out over the summer that like lit up Twitter, where it was about controlling that streamer girl's whole life and like how creepy that was.
Whoa.
And then
what is that?
Okay, I'll explain from the top for those that didn't know. Okay, so there's a game that's coming out, and it's about this girl who's a streamer, and you literally control her every decision in her day-to-day life on how she grows as a Twitch streamer, and it is creepy, it is weird, and like the minute that I looked up online who created the dev team,
I'm so crazy.
Cishet white men only cishet white
sure
men.
They all talk their ex-girlfriends too.
Like everybody who had a female body, anybody that identified as a woman, they're all like sitting there internally like, no.
That's actually very disgusting.
It's disgusting. And like these guys are thinking, oh yeah, this is a great game. People are gonna love this because they're always telling women how to be on chat and on Twitch, and everybody's like,
So let's
nah,
make a game
bruh.
about that. Really? Let's gamify that. Let's gamify the thing we find toxic. Really?
I don't even know.
Well, here was the
Who
response
thinks
to that. Here was the response to that. We were hoping that we made it creepy enough so you would realize that this was not okay behavior. That was their literal thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I know you lying.
Too much
What?
faith.
No, it was all over the
No.
Twitter. I wish I was lying.
I remember this
I have
happening.
nothing
I
but
didn't get the response.
apologies for my gender.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was-
We don't want apologies. We want a color.
I don't even know where to go from here. Oh my god.
That's all I got.
I'm
That's
like,
all I can do.
panel's done.
But that's just to solidify like what Jay Justice was saying. Like you need because when you have a group like that, that's the content you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You need to have
Yeah.
diversity on
Absolutely.
that
I
team.
promise
And
you, every
that's a
single
great
woman those
example
people
of what's
knew has
wrong.
left their life entirely. That's why they're the women on the dev team. Every woman they know is like, I gotta go. Like, no.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that. And we're talking about gamer culture and how much, that toxicity transcends, and people feel so anonymous and safe to say the most wild
Sorry,
out of
you had
park
to check.
shit. And but I think another thing is, just in thinking about these gaming companies and, when these teams are not diverse and when they are really stuck in their ways, they'll create these creepy projects like that when that same energy and effort and those resources could go towards making accessible games, or just incorporating
Bringing
equity
awareness.
in what they do. But it's
But also, there's entire genres that, to me, you should not, for example, in my humble opinion, make a game about, say, the Civil War, for example,
Yeah.
without perhaps having a significant portion of your dev team be Black.
Not
And
just Black,
similarly,
African-American,
okay,
because-
hot take, and I feel like this is open to internet harassment, so but I don't think you should make a game like Cyberpunk without having significant input from the disability community, because what's really cyberpunk is being freaking disabled. All right, that is
Yeah.
you're talking about body modifications. You're talking about ways that you're hacking technology to do things for you. The disabled community has been doing that for years already. So you want
Yep.
to take that in the future. You should not be making a game that, one, doesn't represent the beautiful diversity of genders that the human species has, but also you can't do that without disabled people. You just can't.
Yeah.
There's certain stories you should not tell without input from the people who are most affected or most involved in that particular thing.
And that
But you say
should be
certain
ground.
stories, you mean all stories,
Just
because anybody who says, this is a great example, white man writing about Japanese culture who's never been to Japan. If you love that culture so much, you're telling me you couldn't make one Japanese friend to help be an editor for that? There's some disconnect here. Disconnect here between your
that's
so-called
just-
love for a culture and want to represent it, than to actually not want to invite anyone from that culture to collaborate with you.
Well, that's because there's a difference between love and fetishization,
Yes.
right? A lot of people, when they say they love a culture, they love something, but they themselves aren't part of it.
fetishized.
And I'm not saying that's a blanket statement, but a lot of times that it's fetishization, which is a shallow engagement with that culture
Yes.
or with that group. It's a selfish thing. You're only interested in what that group does for you or how it looks to you. It's not an authentic kind of, engagement, or you'd uplift the voices of the people in that particular community.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So speaking of uplifting voices in community, so I know that we're talking about access in gaming as it pertains to the games we play. Who here is currently or has worked in the gaming industry as well? We got Jay. Intelligent or
All the way up, stop being humble. Yes, you have.
So this even this can also be from the perspective of consumers, but we've talked about Cyberpunk, we've talked about other games that are less than accessible, or just completely not for a huge population of people. What have some of your experiences been with some of these gaming companies, whether you've been working with them or you've been playing their games for years and years?
Okay,
or
so
avoiding them for years.
for some of them, I can't say the company name because it's still under NDA or whatever, but I will focus more on the ones that I can discuss more like fully. So for Codename Entertainment, I worked on the Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which is the Dungeons and Dragons licensed game.
Mhm.
And they, like a lot of companies, they think they don't have any disabled employees, and I'm like, you got anybody with really poor vision? Because I don't know if you know about this, but like you're kind of like narrowing the definition of disability because it doesn't fit what you think it should be. And if you think you have no disabled employees and you think that you don't know anything about it, it's good that you reach out to get a consultant who does know like what you want to portray. So my work there was more narrative based and more character based. Like we didn't realize how many disabled characters we had. I'm like, well, it's D&D. Who's got a prosthesis? Who's like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different like characters that they did not consider how they could refine the language used to describe them to make them, less ableist and more like, this is a really cool character who uses a wheelchair. And I'm sure you guys have seen all over Twitter the D&D wheelchair, like all this. It's so exciting seeing this kind of stuff being used more widely, and I'm so proud of our community for
Awesome.
uplifting the voices that are creating that work. So for companies that come looking for me and say, hey, we know that you've done this before, can you help us out? It's usually a very positive experience where the first couple of emails are like them saying a lot of things that are ableist to me, and me. They haven't even hired me yet, but I'm like, I can't respond to this email without informing you that you shouldn't call someone in a wheelchair bound, and this is why, and like all that kind of stuff. And by then they're like, okay, we kind of have to hire her because she's already improved our workplace.
I'm glad they saw it as improving the workplace too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that was the view.
Yeah.
Because I don't show
sometimes you
going,
don't
hey,
get
fix
that.
your stuff. They come to me. So it's like you're acknowledging your need for a consultant. The least you can do is listen to them when they're telling you that you made a mistake. That's literally their job.
Take it steps further and also pay them. That'd be great.
I don't work.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
You know how much rent it is? No.
Not doing
It's
it.
been pretty positive so far. I've never had an experience where a company that like literally went out to hire me that didn't listen to what I had to say.
Okay.
There have been times where I was hired for different things and they didn't realize that they had an ableist culture, and I was like, well, while I'm here about the gay stuff, we're also going to talk about why.
Not the gay stuff.
Well, I mean,
Oh no.
I love it.
oh yeah, they hired me for like the intersectionality of the poor. Oh, there's no way to put this. Boston is racist. Like Boston is very, very racist.
Yes.
And, yes, and also very homophobic and very
Mhm.
transphobic and just everything. So they were like, so we need you to come here for this. But when I got there, I was like, I see that your only elevator is like blocked by some stuff. Do you want to fix it?
Do
Like,
something
oh my
about
God.
that.
And then like just talking to other like disabled employees and them going, oh yeah, it's been a mess. I'm like, well, girl, I'm here to fix it. Let's go.
You want another mess? Oh my God.
I can't ignore it.
It just speaks to how important, like, because people from marginalized communities just have a different lens for how they see the world, because we have been under the foot of somebody in one way, shape, or form for the entirety of our existence, or since we have been marginalized. And you're just not gonna see everything that we see, because like that's why you need to get people in the workplace. You need to get people into these companies to see what you don't see and to do what you don't know to do.
I feel like you're
Even
touching on a
everything is
really
fine.
important thing too, which is that it starts, it starts before people even start to create the game or the product. It starts when you hire people. And so many hiring practices in tech of any kind right now, both like my day job and also in gaming, have built in processes that select for, they select against disability, they select against Black people, they select against people who come from economically like disadvantaged places. And you're like, well, we interviewed 4 Black candidates, like where's our gold star? And I'm like,
it's not the story.
Look at this process. Like you have these particular things in place. You're not recruiting at like HBCUs. You're not like reaching out to programs that historically support, Black developers or something. Similarly with disability, it's like, well, you have all of these freaking check marks that you ask people to do, tests you ask people to do, that literally disclude people if they have a disability. And you're asking me why you don't have a more diverse workplace? Are you kidding? Like for example, in tech, one thing I have to do incessantly that I loathe and makes me want to throw things out the window is time coding tests. okay, first of all, I have ADHD. Second of all, like, I have a disability that affects all of my joints and extreme test anxiety from, you know, the American health or American education system. So that's its own bucket of worms. But you're sitting here and you're judging me based on something that literally is asking me, are you neurotypical? Are you able-bodied? And when I fail that, you're going, you're a bad programmer. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So when you start to exclude people based on tests that literally, SAT, GRE, these are tests that statistically have, you know, they have scientific tests, they have journal articles that are published, peer-reviewed, showing they select against. They are more likely to predict whether you are white, male, and straight than they are to predict actually your competence as a scientist, technologist, developer, whatever. And yet it's so entrenched in our society and in these businesses that are hiring both your small indie dev teams and your big game studios. They still think, oh, well, we'll just, you know, we'll send them a hacker rank challenge. We'll send them, you know, a timed leak code thing. And you're like, you're literally just asking me, are you disabled? And when I say yes, you're going, I'm sorry, you're a bad programmer. It's like, are you kidding? And so it starts even before you get in the door.
Yeah.
They select to make sure that they don't hire somebody with your perspective.
Exactly. So many of these systems are like built into culture to make the people that are employees feel like they're not doing something wrong, or like they're to feel like, you know, everything's on.
It's self-perpetuating.
It is. It absolutely is.
Because when you hire a diverse team, oh no, what might happen? Like, you hire a bunch of Black developers, they might tell you that the game you're working on has really racist storylines. You hire a bunch of disabled people, they're going to tell you that the format and, you know, structure of your game is ableist. You don't want to hear that you're like the big bad ist word. And so they want to check the box of inclusion and say, well, you know, we've reached out and we're 10% whatever, or we've interviewed this many people. You know, we tried, but there just weren't any qualified candidates, and that just, I want to flip some goddamn tables. Also, I never asked if I could.
No, we're really not trying to hear this. Activision.
Okay. I have already sworn a few times.
So there was like this
We're still live.
I was like, oh no. Okay.
You're good.
It's hard to talk about systemic discrimination. Like, I'm gonna cuss a little bit.
Ooh,
so
if keep it cute and like, you know, face only, but words, please.
I think
I'll do my best. Anger is not a cute expression, but anyway, sorry, Jay, you were talking.
Oh no, I was like, we were like, oh, we don't want to find out that we're racist by being racist. And I was like, you know who really not trying to find out they're being racist? Activision. Because the whole idea of like, it's too difficult to hire to interview. It's too difficult to consider interviewing one non-white, cis-able-bodied, you know, man person, you know, possibly a marginalized gender of some kind. Like, because what if we have to hire them and then they make us change our culture? No, our way of life. We don't have to hide our hoods in the closet.
I think
colonialism is so important.
Like,
time to start clutching some pearls.
I've never said her name out loud, so I apologize. But like Timnit Gebru, so she was like expert in her community at and I'm sorry, I'm pulling some of my own work in here, but like the ethics of artificial intelligence, like world-renowned expert, right? Google hires her to be like, we want you. You know, look at us, diversity, Black woman, like, you know, yes, look at us, pat on the back. Then they freaking fire her for telling them that they're unethical. And it's like, it illustrates exactly what we're talking about, is that these processes, like, I fundamentally do not believe that these companies are just, you know, we're ignorant, you know, we didn't know any better. No, this is deliberate. Because they don't want the disruption. They don't want to be told that the way that they're doing things is biased. Nobody does. Right? Like, it's uncomfortable, it's icky, but like, no, sorry, go ahead, Hydra.
So I think we can also see that on a deeper level where people can connect here, maybe not just from the game industry from working, but let's talk about Twitch and their algorithms. Let's talk about how bad that is, especially as like disabled people. Because, you know, right now I've been pushing myself every day to try to stream 8 to 12 hours just to try to keep up with getting content and things like that. But you need to go make YouTube videos, but you gotta have money for somebody to edit them if you can't edit them yourself. And maybe I don't have the spoons for that. And like, I've been forcing myself and pushing myself, and I can feel my energy just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And I know I get to these points where like I stop streaming for months because I'm so tired but then I come back and I have to start all the way over again from getting 1 to 2 viewers
Yep.
and struggling just to get to like, you know, the 7 to 18 that I'm getting now. And so, but then like, even you just look at your followed channels, and I'm looking right now, they always want to do that top down, like who's at the top. And I think there's got to be some way for them to make it more accessible for those that are part-time streamers to go make more money, for getting people who are disabled who can't be full-time streamers out pushing this amount of content every single day, and just like find the algorithms to put them up there to make, you know, because our top streamers still today, cishet white men. Like I'm dying for a day where I can go see a trans streamer at the top, go see, you know, a black streamer at the top, you know, go see a disabled, like those are the people I want to see at the top. I'm so like, I love Dr. Lupo, he's great, but I'm so sick of seeing people like Ninja, Tifu, like the same names over and over that are so problematic. And like they all made these big promises back in June. We're gonna be better. We followed all these, you know, people of color streams. We're gonna help push them. And then June goes away. Black Lives Matter is not a big topic anymore. And they're not pushing that anymore. And it's just annoying that they ride these waves of problematic thing instead of actually growing those. Like, I am so proud of what's his name? I am Brandon. He's really been growing his channel, and I love everything that he's doing. I'm so proud of, I want to see him keep getting pushed. But I know then there's other creators that are in that same, I know he's mentioned it on Twitter and a couple others, where they started to get partner, they started to get recognized, but they don't feel that they're legitimate because it was the white people that took that time to like temporarily push them. But like, he's somebody who, he deserves to be up there. He is getting it. I love, like, I can't always watch his stream because he does like some of the horror stuff, but like, I love what he does, his energy, and those are the people I want to see up there. But we're starting just down to the algorithms and the way things are being pushed, that as a disabled person, it's going to be hard to get up to the top. We can't get there because we can't keep up. I can't keep up on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, and then like I refuse to do TikTok. I ain't even getting into that mess of ableist crap. But like it just, like, I can't keep up, and it's infuriating because, you know, I can't work right now. I can't make that money, and so like, you know, I've been trying to stream to just try to get those extra paychecks just to try to make it out here, because I've been living by the skin of my teeth on disability check, and that doesn't pay a lot, and it's frustrating. Like, so we need to figure a way to fight these algorithms, and like we need the Redditors that are taking down the stock market right now to take over these programs. Because
Right?
You're killing me. Algorithms do not come from a stork, okay? They are programmed by real people, and everything is deliberate. And what we're really trying to dismantle here is the white supremacy that keeps everyone down by saying, oh, well, if you're not this perfect image of what the default human being should be, we're not going to promote you. You belong at the bottom. We're going to promote the other people who are cis, who are straight, who are male, who are able-bodied.
Thank you.
I'm really tired of it. Like, no, it ain't no algorithm. Know exactly who it is. Come on now.
No, and also, like, as somebody, like, my job is, I'm a machine learning developer. Like, I build these algorithms, and I'm telling you, it's deliberate. Okay, like,
100%.
It's either rooted in the data, or it's rooted in, oh, I don't know, having an all-white cis het male team that like doesn't think that maybe what they're doing has implications, or I don't know, they're using data that they shouldn't, or they're building things to predict things they shouldn't.
Exactly.
And it really does come back to that, like, who's doing it. But this is where I struggle. And you know, Hydra, you bring up excellent points about, you know, you're trying, and I think especially for me, having a chronic illness and a few disabilities, that like I have to take those breaks too. And I like work a long day, and I'm sitting here like exhausted, like how am I gonna sit here and try to be, you know, happy and perky and like have people watch me, and I just want to sleep and take my meds, and it's exhausting enough to work a job, let alone, you know, try to produce content on Twitch. But then you're trying to manage your Twitter, your YouTube, and I sometimes feel like I'm old and disconnected, I feel like and I don't know how to do it all. I can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
feeling
it's
a failure. Yeah.
It's brutal too, because you sit there and you spend hours trying to make good content for your viewers, to engage your community. And then for me, like I stream more in the science and technology space than I stream in the gaming space. But I look over and I see people who literally, it's just like the most dude bro culture, and they have like 3 times the viewers I do. And I'm like, I try to respond to every message. I try so hard to do everything right, and you're like, what? You take the burden. You're like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
You start to blame yourself. Like, how can I be different? How can I be better? But I feel like even beyond Twitch streaming, that's again the system at work. It's there. Like, you fail your timed coding test, you're supposed to come away from that going, what did I do wrong? How am I bad? You don't succeed at our education system, you're supposed to think you're not intelligent. You don't get that job, you aren't able to play that game. It's designed to make you look at yourself as the problem instead of the system, when it really is like, it's the system's designed to boost the people it boosts. It is by
Exactly.
design.
Exactly.
It's not just oops, like, sorry, all the famous Twitch streamers look all the same. Like,
They sure
it's by
do.
design.
They do.
And
They
Okay,
do.
so I'm
You
partially
can't
face
tell
blind,
the
and I'm
difference
literally
between
like,
them. They're all the same people. You're
No.
like, who's that?
they've never been seen in the
are.
same place. It's one person.
Probably.
So
I was I'm sorry, go ahead.
So in relation to gaming, like we've gotten onto the subject of being a Twitch streamer. So what are some things that we have all sort of run into based on how we game, what we do, what we bring to the table as a streamer, that sort of that might echo some of the points that Hydro and Jess brought up. Brandon,
I was about to
Smallsy.
say about that, but I'll wait.
We'll
I
get
was
you. We'll
gonna-
get you.
oh.
Go ahead, Brandon.
You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up just the difficulty in keeping a regular and consistent schedule, which is so critical to building a channel
Yeah.
and so difficult to do when you operate on a much smaller like energy pool or fewer magic points or whatever than the rest of the world does, and you have to like literally choose between going on stream and being consistent versus the quality of that content that you're giving out to your viewers. And I know like there are lots of people who watch my channel and they tell me that they occasionally will drop out because they could see how tired I look. And that's something that's been affected me for years as a streamer. It's actually how I lost my first position on a shared partnered channel, because I was really drowsy either due to medication or just due to my condition. And I know I'm not the only person who goes through this sort of thing, but Twitch doesn't really seem to be interested in going out of their way to promoting people that won't make them a ton of money. And the people that make them a ton of money are the people who have the energy and the ability to not only stream every day for 8 to 12 hours, but also be 100% super hype, like caffeinated and shooting cocaine into their eyeballs or whatever they do in order to
It happens.
Yeah, that
in order to get squared away to like do that kind of content creation. But
And
it's just not feasible for a lot of people who use the platform in order to like show the world who they are.
Yeah.
I feel like what you were just saying. I don't know. I've struggled with this, so I don't have I would say well-formed opinion, but part of the thing I struggle with is like the right people sometimes aren't watching, and I don't know how to have the right people watch. And by right people, I mean that like people will pop in and they make assumptions based on how I look or based on how I'm interacting with my chat, and I feel like a lot of times these larger streamers, at least the ones in sort of my community that I've seen, they get the viewership they do because they appeal to this wide base of like dude bro, racism, like it just like they say these things where they're like, oh yes, like I'm trying to be, more diverse or something,
More
but then
woke.
everything that they say is more woke. Thank you. But then we'll not get into the linguistics of that too, because I'll go off on a tangent. But like, thank you. That's a great way to put it. But it's just like I feel like they're appealing to a user base. And I'm not saying all of Twitch is X, but I'm saying that like they pull more viewers because they're able to participate in a certain personality and a certain like they say things and I'm just like, you are literally being sexist, racist, ableist, whatever, and your viewers are picking up on that and they're going, I'm welcome here. And those of us who are like very explicit about not accepting any of that, or if you are visibly part of that marginalized community, so people know they can't pull that shit, then you don't pull the viewers because you're not appealing to that user base that's like, I feel safe here because I can be as bigoted as I want. And you're like, it's almost like by the very virtue of trying to be more intersectional, more accessible, you lose your audience.
Yeah.
And
part of that ties into the lack of tags, because if we could find one another through tags, then because
we'd be able to build each other.
Exactly. What I always say, because I've mentioned this previously, like I'm very grateful to be part of the Team Stream Queens. We were able to get a drag tag, and having that allows us to find one another, but it also allows us to back each other up when dumbasses come into the chat and be dumb.
We need Stream Kings.
Like 100. Oh, and just so everyone knows, we are called the Stream Queens, but we are a team of queens, kings, and creatures. We accept royalty of all sorts. But yes, like it does so much to be able to find one another and just say it could be some drag artist I don't even know, and I might just have a window popped open, and if I see some sideways shit, I'm gonna come in and say something because we can back one another up that way. Smallsy, you were gonna
and the whole argument of like they're gonna harass you more if you have a tag.
They'll find us regardless.
Sorry, that is bullshit.
They're gonna find it. Yeah,
anyway, sorry, Smallsy, go.
They'll find us regardless.
No, I just like with the tags and finding people through tags. Like the rush of happiness that I get when someone comes in and said, "Hey, I found you through the closed captions, and it's great that you've got them on."
Yes.
Like, yes, like hell yeah. Like if I could go and be like, "Hey, I found you through a disabled tag," it's so great that I can meet someone that is in my community and something like that. It's so fucking great. It's just like, oh my god. It's like, and like I try and raid people with closed captions on as well, because I'm like, well, I know there's someone in my community who would use that. It's like, if you can't find someone who doesn't have the tag that works for viewers in your thing, like you feel like you're dropping them off in the dark. You're not helping them out. Like you're like, okay, well, you've had fun with me. You can't, it's not gonna be suitable for you. But it's like, if you had like tags with disabled labels, you can be like, okay, well, here's the place where the people who come to watch me because they feel comfortable in a disabled stream are going to feel comfortable there too. Like you can take people and share with them a whole community, and it's just like, yeah, when I have those closed captions on and people say that they're working, and I'm like, I just appreciate it so much that I have that ability and have a way for them to find someone to watch, like and it's just like, give us more tags. Give us.
How are they
give us the tags we
going
want.
it's going to touch
meeting them
more
at 5.
harassment when they're not even arresting harassment we're already getting without the tag.
I've been on Twitch staff's ass about the tag since the tag system started. Since day one of the tag system, and they're like, we hear you, we plan to make changes, and they never do.
Well, there's plenty of room on there, so I'll join you. Let's go.
I'm so sick of we hear you.
Go.
Grabbing the pitchfork, let's go.
How tired are we? How tired are we of people responding with "We hear you, we see you"? Like
That is just that's
do.
that woke. Like white people took over woke, and suddenly it became completely watered down.
100%.
And it's the woke
People
response.
over the
of,
world
like,
and suddenly
I
became
and I keep saying this, but a little bit of what Jess was saying earlier about how these gaming companies make decisions, it's very ass backwards, for lack of a better term. And it's the same thing with this tag situation. They've put out statements talking about wanting to, we don't want to miss anyone. We want to make sure we get everyone in this big tag-shaped bear hug. But you don't have to get everyone at once. Like, listen to who's telling you we want a veterans tag, we want a trans tag, we want a disabled tag. And then, you might have to add a black tag, add a black tag. We have 19 variations of poker. We can get enough tags on Twitch to
We have
represent.
138 league tags for no reason whatsoever for every champion in League of Legends. You don't need that. Like, there is plenty of them we could cull and put in some actual community.
Turn it right back to League of Dragons.
A big player who seems to get it.
It was intentional. Okay, Apex Legends. We got tags for Apex. We got.
But also, isn't that kind of like the game? Like, they'd rather give us more tags based on games, which you can see what someone's streaming by the category, and yet, we can't add tags that actually make sense. And it's so frustrating because, like, how do you find your community? Like, I'm lucky enough to have like the accessible streamers stream team, and when people stop by from that, I'm like, yes, like the community, like, yes, you're here.
Yes, exactly.
And like, why can't we make it a
The other thing that they need to do with the tags too that I think is important is stop limiting them at 5, because here's the thing: if we start getting those in, so I would have veteran, disability, LGBT, trans from non-binary, closed captioning, mental health, and like I keep adding down the list, but I'm already gonna have a new issue. What do I pick? And because they are limited, and so I think we need to stop limiting them, and we start needing to have good ones. And I think the other thing, like, we are desperate in need for something like that to help break that algorithm so we can find each other. Because the other thing that I think that a lot of us don't talk about when we talk about we're trying to keep up with the white dude bros is how much we don't take care of our own health, because we aren't, like, this is my I'll be honest, this is my worst month of the year is January. It's my trigger month. It's the anniversary of a really bad thing that really kicked off the majority of my PTSD. And normally I don't talk from Christmas until February 5th. I don't talk to a single soul. People would message me if I was okay, and I would just send them a dot just so that they knew I was alive. And this year I've been forcing myself to stream those long days because I want to keep up. I need to get the money. And I'm already not sleeping because of it's a bad month, because I have the night terror. So I'm not sleeping. I've not been eating. I'm lucky if I drink my water in the day. A dog has to keep reminding me. But we don't talk about that because we're trying to, they want to push us for, when Pride Month comes up, they're looking for all the Pride streamers. When disability is a topic, they're looking for the disabled streamers that they know. When it's Black History Month, they're hitting up the, the Black streamers that they know.
Jay's your inbox full? Mine is.
But they're not helping us to continue that theme the whole year round.
Yeah.
And you have to try to keep this energy up. And I don't think they realize that the pain that we are putting our own bodies through for this stuff to just get through the day and just try to, get some viewership and reach people. And they're hurting people more than they are helping people, and that's what really sucks. But then when they suddenly need us to make whatever statement they're making, hey, there you are, hey, you exist.
Stop telling us that we hear you, and tell us that we care about you and we want to see you do well. And
there's actions that back that feeling.
Exactly. Stop saying you're hearing us without giving us actions, and tell us that you actually want to make those efforts for us. Well, it just seems like an inconvenience, and we'll fix it when we need people to shut up. And
they're making a deliberate choice. That's that's the thing is that I think a lot of people mistake the lack of something for neutral when it's not. Like, the very fact that they haven't done this, they haven't made closed captioning something built into their platform. They haven't, made a disabled tag, or they haven't made, a trans tag, etc. Like, that is a deliberate choice. That is not just, oops, we're neutral because we haven't offered it. No, it's the kind of no silence in the face of oppression thing. But it's when you try to make that neutral choice, you are supporting the opposite. And as long as we tolerate companies that are just oh, we're going to do the neutral thing. But then you get back to the point of like the burden should not be on consumers to make you can't make an ethical choice because we rely on this income. And especially people with disability, doubly so if you're in the United States where disability payments are obnoxious and the freaking entire system is designed to keep you, in poverty, then you're relying upon a system that is designed against you to try to avoid another system designed against you. Like, it's not like I'm basically what I'm saying is the point is to not boycott Twitch, please, because like Twitch is the form of income for a lot of people with disabilities, and so like that's not the point. But like, I don't know, Brandon, you were saying you're putting on pressure. If there's ways that we can support you in applying that pressure, making that pressure more uncomfortable.
I think that's a great segue. Yeah, in talking about all these things, what are some things? I'm going to pass it right to you, Brandon. But yeah, just so everyone's on the same page. What are things that we can do, or that we are doing? Whether it's things like what Smallzy is doing with looking for those other streamers that have closed captioning. What are some things that we can do as streamers, as people in the industry, as gamers in general, to try to fill in some of these gaps and get some of this work done? Brandon.
Well, okay, first of all, Twitch does have a part of their website that's dedicated to suggestions, and they've got a whole category that relate to accessibility and disability. And you can upvote certain topics. And I'm right now like frantically trying to go through my Twitter feed to find that info. Other than that, keep the pressure up on social media and don't be afraid to talk shit about Twitch when you're on Twitch. Because honestly, like, if you end up saying something that's particularly profound and important, put it on, wait, if you're an affiliate, wait your 24 hours and then put it up on YouTube. The more people know about what the company is doing wrong, and the more they would be incentivized to make the appropriate changes. Now, I mean, obviously not everybody can, like, I guess, I as I understand it, there are partnered streamers who get like a staff member that they have as like a contact, or if like in the course of your journey on Twitch, you end up making contacts on Twitch staff. Talk to them, make sure that they know what's up. And I do know that they pay attention to even when people tweet about like inaccessibility on Twitch, because I've seen screenshots of their internal Slack where they were like, hey, this is just on Twitter. Is there anything we can do about this? But unfortunately, the reality is that Twitch is a very murky place, not just to like stream on, but especially to work at. And it's really easy to like look at individual staff members who there's one who is like a contact of mine who was the person who announced that Twitch was getting rid of the blind playthrough tag because they thought it was ableist, which whether it is or it isn't particularly for me to say, not having a visual disability, but I know that other people that I know very well who do have visual disabilities chimed in and said that they weren't particularly offended by the term. But I know she got a lot of online flack because she was the one who had to make the tweet.
Mhm.
And so it's important to realize that it's not the staff member that like deserves the ire, but the company itself. I mean, if anyone, start, if you're gonna punch up, punch all the way to the top,
Hmm.
because otherwise you're just going to end up hitting somebody who probably doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. I think that's great advice.
But yeah, go onto their internal forums. I really wish I could find that link. As soon as I do, I'll post it in chat.
And it does
We'll wait
take
for it.
degrees of, community push. It does take degrees of resilience, because, we're talking about tags. The trans tag has 5,300 some odd votes for it. I think half or more of which have come in less than a year, and this is a push that's been going on for 2 years. So and they're allegedly moving pieces. So like it takes community. It takes doing things like raiding into one another and continuing the conversation about like I saw that you had a veterans tag in your title or in your name. Let's keep talking about it, and we have to perpetuate the things that we want to see the same way that toxicity is perpetuated on the platform, because that's the way that we can combat it also. Anybody else want to weigh in?
I want to give a shout out briefly. I'm going to put this in chat. So this particular disabled streamer, I'm timed out from chat because I tried to put a link.
Scandal.
Sorry, Mod.
Can we get a mod to help out with this, please? Thank you, mods. I love you guys.
This is a disabled streamer who is collecting and making a database of disabled streamers in the meantime. Also, they're awesome. Like, follow them individually, but it is a wonderful repository that is community-led. In the meantime, while we also apply, pressure upwards. Can
you post it one more time, Jess?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay.
You're all good. Who has it? Ooh, that's twice. Don't do it a third time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I did just get typed out again.
Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Kiyoshi,
I'm in the Twitch.
Kiyoshi posted it right there.
Naughty section, so I'm sorry. But
I do have Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you got it. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just saying I've got the link for the Twitch suggestion box.
Oh, great. And then one more. Can you say the name of this streamer
you're
one more
gonna
time? You said the name of this streamer one more time, Jess.
Oh yeah. So hold on. Let me make sure that their stream name is the same. I think it's so on Twitter it's Paper Stained Ink.
Okay.
But I think that's the same on Twitch. I'm horrible with usernames, so actually let me try to make sure. But I think that's the same on. Waiting for the browser. Hold. It is. Yes, it's the same. Okay. So.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure we didn't lose that. Great.
Thank you. But I think, to add on to what Brandon was saying, like while you're applying that pressure, if you are somebody coming from a place of privilege, like look at what media you consume, right? Like if you're just like, oh, well, I just, you're putting all these, you throw a follow, but you don't actually watch the channel. Or, you're like, oh, look at me. Like I followed this like disabled streamer today, but you're subbing only to like white, straight, able-bodied streamers. Like think about where you're putting your money. Think about where you're putting your views. I don't think people realize that, there's one, I would say, if you don't have the means, even just coming into the channel and saying, hi, it's really nice. Like your stream means a lot. Like letting us know the impact of the content we create is huge.
Yes.
Two, though, if you have the financial means to put support behind just your follow, please do that. And three, I would say for the streamers out there, I've been a tiny streamer for years, and it wasn't until most recently, like over the holiday break, I took 2 weeks off of work and I did a series of tech streams that my like stream viewers went more up, probably still small compared to most people, but to me it was huge.
Yeah.
And then I made a conscious choice to, at the end of each of those streams, rate a really tiny stream. And so make that choice. If you're a streamer, you have a certain audience that's, even if it's like 20 people, 10 people, bring that audience to a smaller streamer. Like always be kind of grabbing, even if you feel like you are, a small streamer yourself, bring up the people around you. Because I think one of the hardest things is seeing people who are like, I'm gonna, and this is not knocking anybody, but like, I'm gonna raid AOC. And I'm like, that's great. But this person has thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching them already. Like, that's great though, like awesome. And they're cool and whatever, but like, go and pick somebody with 6 people following them or watching, go find a disabled person, this is how I actually found a lot of really cool, really like great drag queen community was just being like, wow, this person doesn't have a lot of people watching them, let's go. And then it was like, oh wow, I found a whole new community. And so if you can, put your money where your mouth is. If you can't, boost as much as possible. Boost. Like help people make connections. If you can't do it with your money, which is totally fine, but seriously, I know a lot of people who do put their money where their mouth is, but they do it for streamers that are making millions off this. And I'm like, why there? Why do that? So yes, with sorry, in chat. That's who I was talking about. You can follow them too. That was small stream, and I was like, oh, this is such a positive community, and I instantly felt welcome, and I learned so much. Like it was wonderful. So like, anyway, that's what I would recommend is that do everything Brandon said, and then on top of that, if you can, throw financial support, please do. If you can't, throw the support of your actions. Follow, boost, connect communities. If you're a streamer, do that as well. So please, because like communities are built obviously by the people within them. And so if you're not taking those actions deliberately, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. I want to raid somebody. I'm so excited.
Right?
I'm like, stream's over. We're gonna raid someone.
That is my new favorite thing, honestly. Is like my
I
new
love
favorite
raiding
thing
people.
It is a
when
lot
I
of
had
fun.
that bigger viewership, which has since dropped because I don't know, whatever. But like when I had that holiday viewership, I was like, oh, I love picking the tiny streams because the joy you bring to somebody.
Mhm.
Like, and then, hopefully the people who have followed and subscribed to you are doing that to the smaller streamer. And you just feel like, yes, that's what it's about.
I remember
right?
the first time I got a 120 person raid, I was like,
right?
what do I do? What do I do?
Right.
And then like
Panic.
right here and like
Panic.
Oh god.
It's great and terrible.
Like my anxiety was like,
Great and terrible.
hi, welcome. I can't really respond. I'm in the middle of a roleplay scene, but hi.
No, I just
Suddenly the room gets
And if
like
you got
10
like
degrees
people
warmer.
in Discord with you, and it's like they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Oh my gosh, I love this.
I always have to crack a window after because I just get really warm. I get really anxious and nervous because like a bunch of people suddenly show up and I'm like, hi, how's everyone? How are you? I'm answering your questions, and yes, and this, and then slowly I'm just like trying to get the window up, like, all right, starting to sweat, like.
Or then you have like the people that come in that are used to those bigger streamers, and I've gotten this comment a lot. Maybe you guys have as well. There's 15 people here. Why no one talk? And I'm like, girl, lurkers are your lifesavers, okay? I'm here to RP. People are just watching it like it's a movie. It's fine. Like these lurkers are the MVP. They chat in when they want to. It's fine. It's like it's a different kind of community, and they're like, oh, or like
It's very at my house we do it like this, and it's like, well, we're not there.
you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like I'm used to like
Or the
I
feeling
love
though
it
when you
people
are like trying to get that connection and people are just
Mhm.
quiet. And so like as somebody that does like a lot of tutorials and educational content, I'm like, all right, like, who has questions? And like silence. And you feel like that awkward person, like,
Oh yeah.
It does
hey
it feels
everybody.
awkward. And so like I love it when people talk, but at the same time, like your lurkers, man, they're the real MVPs because like I also
Truly,
know too,
Truly.
as somebody who has anxiety, I'm afraid to talk in a lot of Twitch chats. You'll find me very few and far between do I actually go out and like start talking to people in their chat. Like I'm the one that just wants to sit there and I just want to appreciate. So like for me, lurkers, you're welcome. You just want to just listen to me talk. It's fine. It's fine. Like come chill. But like,
I didn't realize that either when I was streaming earlier last year. I was making a sword from Destiny, the Black Talon, you know, the really fun like shiny one.
yeah.
And I didn't realize that people like would just kind of like watch for hours of me just carving foam and not saying anything. And I was like, I hope you guys are enjoying this. And it's just, and just having good
Real.
music and a good vibe and something interesting to watch can just be fun. And you don't have to necessarily talk a lot to still enjoy the stream.
And then when you don't show up for like a couple days on stream, your lurkers that are usually around. Hey,
Are you good?
hey,
What's
you
going
okay?
on?
are you okay?
What's going on?
That's
What
so
are you
funny.
doing? What are you
What are you
doing?
doing?
When I-
I'm like, who are you? Oh, oh, you are. Hi. Okay.
That's too
You know?
When I got
I'm the
COVID, it was the
post-stream
people that like
lurker.
were lurkers. Yeah.
Yeah.
that reached
I'm the
out.
post-stream
It's
lurker.
great.
Every time I raid someone, it's like, all right, now I'm gonna sit here like this. I'm not gonna touch the keyboard. I'm gonna lurk. I'm gonna watch. Like, you know, I'm.
Make sure
I'm
you
sinking
click
into
stop
my
streaming.
chair. Oh well.
Yes.
That too.
Guilty.
I hit that button instantly.
Also guilty.
You're just like,
Guilty.
It's like that awkward pause face, and you're waiting to like make sure the raid goes through, and then you're like, stop. All right,
everyone.
great. All right, now I'm here.
yeah.
I just lean into the creepy smile. I'm like, oh, I tried to just walk away from that comment. I guess I can't. No, yeah, we have covered so much. I'm still just like sort of like soaking in all the conversation from the last 4 hours. Hey Jay. So let's wrap up our access in gaming discussion with well, I'll have a question for the end, but before that, let's talk about where we can find everybody, what you got going on, where do people need to look out for you, what you doing. We're gonna save Smallsy for last because their birthday was yesterday. Happy belated.
Birthday!
Thank you.
Belated.
So let's start over here. We'll work, or I'm like looking at myself. Let's start over here. We'll work our way around. We'll start with Jay.
All right. So if you're looking for cosplay photos, definitely check out my Facebook, That Day Justice, or Instagram for all the cute cat pictures and videos of my cat. I'm going to be making some Bo-Katan armor from The Mandalorian. I will be the Mandalore herself. That's going to be streaming on Twitch. Yeah, the helmet's already done, and I just got to make the rest of it, jetpack. And on Twitter is where I usually do all of my like political stuff and social media announcements and like cool things. Oh yeah, I just got a partnership with Intel Gaming, so I'm going to be doing a lot more PC gaming. Yeah, Intel
bum.
is this
Congrats.
gaming PC that I'm so excited to break in.
That's
What are we
so
playing
awesome.
first? Among Us.
It starts
Oh,
tonight.
Y'all are going down. I'm gonna murder all of you.
Yes, we're having a.
Wow.
It's gonna be fun.
Jess is like, oh
God.
no.
Of course.
I never played.
Yes, we
no,
love
I'm going
that.
first.
We love that for you.
It's gonna be so bad.
It's gonna be so good.
Sorry.
Oh, so fabulous. Yes, please check out Jay Justice. Also, everybody should be hitting that dynamic follow button. Make sure you're following all of our castmates from both of our panels today. Some of them are going to be sticking around for an Among Us session after this, and y'all should as well. Boom. Hydro, tell us about yourself. Where can the people find you? What you doing?
Hi, I'm Hydro Troop 91. I do a lot of GTA roleplay. I play as an EMS worker. I play as this badass biker criminal. I have a serial killer that I have not streamed yet.
Speaking of
And I have
murder.
another hidden character that will be coming out later. But mostly you'll catch me either doing the wee-woo life, flying ambulance and helicopters. Maria likes to steal a bunch of vehicles and like go skydiving from the top ceiling height and blow stuff up. I like to blow stuff up. Shooty shooty bang bang. And she likes to not wear any clothes. That's just the way she is. So
That's
it's
life.
just chill. But you can find me on Twitch. Twitter is usually where I'm announcing that I'm going live. Sometimes I'll post a Missy pic. I'll try to share out things that are important, like what's going on with the gaming, like accessibility, other good hot topics that need to be known about that. We can talk about that on my channel when I'm not in a serious RP scene. Instagram, occasionally I'll post stuff with my drag. I'm also a drag king, but since the pandemic, I've not actually gone out and do drag, but I do have a YouTube, Oliver Snatch. So that's my drag life. So you can find me there.
Can we just get a shout out for Oliver Snatch? Like, that's what a name. What a name.
Amazing.
Drag mom back in
Following
West
right
Virginia,
now.
because she would come out and she'd be like, next up is Oliver Snatch. Just like scream it out, and I'd be like, oh God, Christina, I love you.
Discord fully said this is too much.
I know
You went silent. I love
It
it.
was crazy.
Yes, but please check out Hydro Troop 91. Check out Oliver Snatch. They're the same person. Oh my god.
And sometimes I change my voice
I
like
hate
this.
it.
You know,
I forgot about
do
this.
comedy.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I keep
I'm
almost making
starting
it
with
to the
Magic.
end of
my
these.
EMS character so that I change my voice so I sound more like them. Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I forget
How
you
you
have-
doing?
Every time on Discord with you, I forget you have this. I love it.
Wait, is it a filter?
I forgot to.
Please
No,
tell
it's a
me.
voice
Are you
changer.
It's a
Oh,
voice
okay,
changer,
all right.
so
I
can
thought you
just
could
Switch
just
it with
do
a
that, and I
button,
was
you
like,
know?
I need to
No,
learn
I'm
this.
not.
I need one
Look,
of
I
those.
ain't that skilled, alright? I'm gonna be honest. Like,
I get one of those for Destiny.
Oh,
tried, but it's just so hard.
Can't do this.
I could have the bass voice of my dreams. That is
Jess is planning.
Oh yeah, like new savings goal right now.
I'm into it. Well, speaking of planning, Jess, aka Enceladus, tell us about. Wait, you want to tell us about your name and then tell us what's going on?
Sure. So I'm really bad at naming things, and so when I first started out
Same.
streaming, I just picked like my two things I liked, which is Enceladus, a moon of Saturn, and dinosaurs. And so I just kind of like smushed it together. I was like, this sounds all right, and that has somehow become the brand. Which, okay, I and then a way cooler friend of mine, they recommended the name of my stream is Enceladus Rex, but Rex as in like you wreck something. And I'm just not that witty, but somehow you took my really crappy idea and turned it cool. So like, yes, thank you.
That's clever.
I like that a lot.
You can find me under that screen name on literally everything. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I don't really Instagram very often. I don't know what else there is, but if it's out there and I have it, it'll be this username. Me being terrible at game development, as well as I have Science Sundays, so that'll be tomorrow. I stream machine learning and data science topics and tutorials for people who are interested, and then starting up a new series that is Math Mondays. So I really like math, and I'm trying to make it fun and less scary and annoying for everyone else. So that'll be really fun too.
I was surprised that my initial reaction to that was you said math and I got excited. So I'm like, I want to look into this. I have questions.
Good. Okay.
Math is awesome.
I don't know what's going on inside.
Math is great.
So wholesome. Look at y'all just loving math. Oh.
Math is wonderful. And you know what? If you hate math, I promise it's probably not your fault. You've probably been taught terribly. So let me change your mind if I can.
Beyonce taught me that
on
1 plus
Twitter-
1 equals 2. Equals 2.
There you go. I'm less cool than Beyonce, but I will do my best to take it from 1 plus 1 equals 2 through all the rest of math.
Come on.
But you can find me on Twitter too. That is more political, but also more like personalized. And YouTube VODs will be for all the tutorials. So yeah, those are the things I'm doing right now.
Love it.
And applying for jobs. So
Real.
you know.
Good luck to everyone on that hunt. We're out here. I see you.
Yeah.
We hear you. We see you. Brandon, what's going on?
So yeah, my name is Brandon. I stream under the handle Accessible Gamer. I love to play co-op games. I play Warframe a lot, a part of their creator program. I play Tom Clancy's The Division 2, and I've been getting back into Star Wars The Old Republic and Borderlands 3. So I've been just kind of enjoying getting a character up through the ranks, just kind of casually playing through it. I also like single player story-based games whenever I can find like the time to regularly do that. I stream on the Able Gamers channel. They've got a Twitch channel. I stream there every Sunday, and I'm playing Disco Elysium, which is a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have played that before. It's an indie game. It's so twisted, and I have to read it out on a PG-13 channel. It's really, really difficult,
Oh, wow.
but funny.
Hey, as long as it's
Very
fun.
funny. Yeah, oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. You
Also-
can find me on Twitter, where I do a lot of my Twitch / political leaning rantings. And also, you can find me on Twitch. The username is the same, Accessible Gamer, all one word, no spaces. And that's the best way to find me and find out when and what I'm going to be doing.
I'm so sorry. How are you all so much fun and so entertaining that I forgot to mention that I have a weekly art stream with my friend drag queen Demanda Martini called Rusty Gay Ass Art, because we haven't drawn in a long time and we're gay and we draw on this art. Like, I forgot about my own stream because I was so entertained by everybody else. So every Tuesday you can watch us
forgot
draw.
about
It's
Rusty
great.
Gay Ass Art.
Best stream name ever.
Yes, I need to see this.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
good.
so close.
Tuesday,
I almost
8
made
o'clock.
it. Damn it, Jay.
I just want to say I love all of you guys. Like I love seeing you guys at these panels because like everybody,
Rusty
like we all
Gay
feel the
Ass Art.
same and it feels good because I know like I don't know about you all, but I feel like by myself a lot of times when it comes to these things and just getting in groups like this, like I feel better again when we're all on the same page and just
That's nice.
This
like,
is
thank you for
probably
having
the
us.
most fun I've had in a long time at a panel ever.
I'm so happy.
Same.
Let me
Thank you
tell
for
y'all,
having us.
the January blues are, I don't know if anybody calls it that, but it's happening. But the way that my body has been like rejecting the idea of doing an event or talking to people, and I'm just like, we're just gonna show up, we're gonna do the things, and I'm so happy we're doing the things.
I had PJs on until like 30 minutes before I had to be on this. And I was
I'm
like,
still in
I don't
PJs.
want to
What
do
you
this.
talking
I don't want
about?
to talk to people. I don't want to be on camera. And then I forced myself and I'm like, oh, this was so worth it. So glad.
Before we
So
kill each other.
glad. Yeah.
But yeah,
You know,
Kill each
wait, is
other.
that what do we kill each other in Among Us?
Yes.
we're
Is
gonna
that
have
what
such a
happens?
great time, Jess.
Oh, baby, you don't know
I'm so
anything.
free!
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
no,
God. Do I have
you
to
ain't gotta
turn in
apologize.
the gamer card again? Like crap.
No, it's not even like that. We're just gonna have a great time, Jess.
It's a
It's
lot
gonna
of
be
fun.
awesome. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, so before we get to our last question, we want to hear from Smallsy. What you got going on, my birthday friends?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
B-Day.
Thank you. You can find me everywhere at Smallsy. I'm just stream on Twitch. I do a bunch of games. I do just chatting. I do awful art.
Is it rusty and gay?
Well, it's rusty. It's gay. It's chaos.
The best things are.
I do a whole lot of trading card Pokemon card pack openings and all that stuff as well. And I got a few boxes of cards for my birthday, so I will be opening them.
Content.
The temptation to resist opening them all is real.
You wait till a camera is on you.
I may have already opened one box, but let's not talk about it. Let's just ignore it. But yeah, no, I do a whole lot of variety content, chaotic content, and if that sounds like your cup of tea, come over. I'll put the kettle on.
Come get a sip of tea.
Oh,
But yes, please use the dynamic follow button to go follow all of our castmates. We do have one more question before we're going to round out, and I will let you know you can find me at twitch.tv/60bb. I share in the chaotic vibes. We chat. We're currently playing Smite. I don't know what else. Near Automata, that's happening. BioShock is happening. What other? I don't really finish
Seriously,
games.
No.
I'll finish this one. I'll finish this one.
Promise me. I will like no, that sounds
I look
but
Jess
I
in
will-
the eye. I promise you, I will finish
Please.
BioShock by like
The game is
2030.
Tell me when you get there. You'll know when you get there. I won't
Okay.
tell you where there is, but when you
Okay.
get there.
I'm in. I want to know what it is. Okay, so for our final question, since we're talking about access to games, let's talk about y'all's favorite game. What is your favorite game that you have ever played? If it satisfied some of the needs that you have to play, or if it met some of the needs that you have to play the games, tell us about that. Just a small casual question. Favorite game you've ever played in your entire life?
Yeesh.
Mass Effect!
What's yours, Jay?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. Boom. Why Mass Effect?
Oh my god. Okay, so I think the previous phase had been Knights of the Old Republic, so it's basically the same game minus the licensed property. and with the developers able to do more and make it gayer and make it like just more diverse and like not extremely so, but like, oh, there's a black character that you can't not have. Like Jacob is just here, he on your squad, that's it, deal with it, racist, haha. Was his writing perfect? No, but the fact that you got to see, you know, more diverse characters and get to play a game and get to feel like more like just part of it. Like I will never. It's hard for me to separate my own game identity from Shepard. That's how deeply I love these games.
Yeah. I don't know where Jay ends and Shepard begin.
I don't know.
I so love that. Mass Effect is another game that makes me feel like a bad gamer because it's such an iconic series that I have not touched myself.
Don't worry. You know what's ready for you to touch?
I played Andromeda. It was amazing.
A legendary edition. Okay.
I played Andromeda too.
I know
That
a
was
lot of
it.
people hated it.
I love Andromeda.
The
People hated
legendary
it, but I loved it.
No, they didn't.
So good.
People who hated Andromeda hated themselves.
Thank you.
Andromeda was not that bad. It was
Thank
not
you.
that bad. The people need.
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't Mass Effect good. Like, if I'm gonna be real.
No, I think
I loved it.
you can't. People were judging it by their memories of the whole trilogy, and it's one game. It's one game with a newbie who's not Shepard. It's a nepotistic piece of nonsense. Basically, their dad was the big dude. Now you got. I'd rather play as Daddy Ryder. I'm sorry. Like I love the game, but I think that if you're comparing Shepard to Ryder, that's unfair. That's like comparing Wesley to Picard.
Oh, we are going. Right, Jay is bringing up the. Oh, boy.
Picard, yeah.
Oh, we are not going to get
Going
into. We're not
places
getting into Star
now.
Trek captains. We're.
No, we can't do that.
That's a whole other panel.
We got another hour. Let's go.
No.
I mean, we are going to
I'm
space.
gonna be quiet.
Oh no.
Next person.
Okay, like, let's throw it this way. Smallsy, what's your favorite game you've ever played? I know you didn't think I was going to do this to you.
No, I really thought you were gonna be nice to me.
Aw.
Oh god, favorite game ever. Oh god, I would just say,
We can come back to you. We can come back to you.
yeah, come back to
Okay,
me. Come back to me.
okay.
I'm panicking. I'm stressing.
Who is ready? If you're ready, if you're ready, throw it out there. Is it what I think it is, Hydra?
What? What do you think it is?
You know what I think it is. Is it Grand Theft Auto?
Nope.
What's your favorite game?
Not
ever?
GTA.
My all-time go-back game that I still go back and play is the original, not the EA bullshit that came out, but Battlefront 2 Star Wars. Like the old school. I used to play so much that I was actually a general on the characters that I played, that like I came in automatically with buffed out perks. And like in college, even when that game was like done and shut down, I would hold like tournaments and shit, like bring people like, let's do the split sleep, let's go, like let's go, like I got pumped, like let's go do this. Like I will still play that game to this day. I wish that was still online, but that's like OG Xbox.
That's a throwback. So we're in space a lot. Mass Effect, Battlefront 2. What
Mass
else?
Effect is also important to me. I'll just throw that out there, but
It's
but,
up
like,
there.
The one that I put like the hours into was that game. I could just play for hours and hours and just keep going.
That's so fierce. I love that. Anybody else ready? Jazz?
Y'all are out here really not saying
There's
nothing.
so many games.
Someone is afraid of burning a bridge. Smallsy's just thinking about if they
here's a
should say
feature of my
League of Legends or
stream,
not.
okay? A feature of my stream is me sitting there not knowing what to play because I'm indecisive. So when you ask me to pick a game,
Thanks, Smallsy.
I am like,
fair.
Yeah.
meltdown.
Listen, I don't have an answer to this question. Go ahead.
You can only have one for like a month. That's all
It's
you
coming.
can play. What
It's
game
coming.
is it?
I would say Final Fantasy 14 actually
Ooh.
online. I've sunk
Okay.
more hours
Respectable.
into that than I should. But I just love being able to be immersed in the world of 14 and the stories. The best story I've experienced in a long time. Like the story in that game, everything's just so magical. Being able to play 16 different classes without having to make a new character every time you want to do it, like, is just amazing. And I have like a great sense of like community with it because of the people I've made friends with, and all the friends that I play with. So I think that's definitely a game that I just always love. And also maybe just a second game because why pick one?
Why not?
The Spyro series and the memories that I have of them from a childhood. To me, playing that with my mother, she loved playing that with me,
yes.
and we would play that together, the Spyro series. So I think that's definitely one that just is always just going to be near and dear to me, and that I love purely just for that memory. So yeah.
Smallsy said one more game and picked a trilogy.
I mean, I did ask pick a trilogy too.
I'm
so-
This is true.
I'm rerouting the system. I'm working around it.
That's what we're talking about today. I will throw out. Okay, surprisingly, like Nier Automata might become my favorite game. I'm really enjoying it so far. Smite is my favorite multiplayer as at the moment. The game that I put the most time into is Dynasty Warriors 4. 42 characters with essentially the same storyline, and you best believe I unlocked everything for all of them over the course of a
So
summer.
are y'all happy? You can name 3 games now. You good? Because everybody else
Jay is like, this is bullshit.
Actually, you know what
Name
game's a lot of
three?
fun that I think
Name
all of you
three?
guys would love?
What?
Have you guys ever played Dream Daddy? Because that shit is fun.
Yes, Dream Daddy is so fun.
A step up from that, a game is coming out this year called Validate. It's Dream Daddy with basically created by people of color and queer folks. There's multiple different types of bodies. There's multiple backgrounds. There's multiple gender identities.
You better send me the link to that because I need that info. Like,
I will. We'll get the link in the chat, in the Discords, everywhere. But yeah, there's
the thing I can't handle with Dream Daddy is the music.
Dream Daddy.
I'm just sitting here just like
What in the
bopping.
world?
That is the theme song, Brandon.
There's the theme song.
Oh my god.
Okay, we need to wrap this up. But okay, nowhere else to hide. Brandon and Jen.
Oh no.
Who's going? Nowhere to hide.
I'll go. Okay, so this is a bit of an old one. And this is also a game that I played a lot before my spinal cord injury when I was just a normal, able-bodied male human, whatever. And this game, it was for the Super Nintendo, and it was a single-player story-based RPG called Earthbound. You guys have probably heard of it. It's basically if you give a bunch of like video game writers a ton of LSD, lock them into a closet for like a month, and tell them that they can't come out until they come up with a script for a video game, and that is what you get. It is positively amazing. Earthbound is fantastic.
So we know what we need to task these companies that are not diverse.
Yes.
We need to lock them in a closet. Y'all gonna create an accessible game. Y'all gonna take this LSD, and we'll talk in a month.
Yes. But like after my injury, I've played a lot of different games. Nothing that has ever really stuck with me, as much as Earthbound did. But a game that I have been enjoying, and I probably have put more hours into it than any other game other than Warframe, is called This War of Mine. And it's a really tough game to play, but it's got a lot of replay value. It's a lot of fun. It's by a Polish studio called 11-Bit. They made a game called Frostpunk that was also pretty popular.
Oh.
Yes.
Frostpunk is fantastic. Basically, you live in an abandoned house while the city you live in is going through a civil war, and you're not a soldier, you're just a civilian trying to survive, and you have to manage things like security and like hot and cold in, whether if it starts snowing, your people will get sick, you don't have a lot of supplies, and you have to kind of scavenge things to live, or for your people to live through at night. So at night you have to choose who goes out scavenging for stuff, and they don't get to sleep, and then You also have to make sure everybody's happy. You know, some people will be smokers or coffee drinkers. They got to have their smokes and coffee, or they get angry. If they get angry enough, they'll leave. You can't just go around like with a gun and shooting anything that moves. In fact, if you even go out of your way to kill a person, regardless of the circumstances, the person who does it will get very depressed. I mean, they don't go very much into detail on that front, but I imagine it's something akin to PTSD. And the game has just like, there's just so many different like combinations of survivors and ways to go about playing it, and it's really fantastic. And I didn't know there was a board game, but I actually should look into that.
That's wild. That sounds really
It sounds
interesting.
really good, but stressful.
It is fun.
Mhm.
But
You got to make a lot of hard, difficult
Yeah.
choices.
I do that in real
especially-
life. No.
Especially if one of your survivors happens to be a child.
Ooh.
That makes it even more difficult.
You like intense
But yeah.
games. I'm into it.
I do. I do.
I do. Look, the first games I played when I started streaming, I was like, I'm only playing horror games and Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
since expanded, but that was the intention. All right, Jess, moment of truth. Is it
Oh,
Stardew
no.
Valley?
Okay, so I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna say my favorite game in recent memory
Okay.
that I've played recently. I guess, and I'm judging this based on like the game that's stuck with me, and I've come back to thinking about again and again is Outer Wild. And
Ooh, that is a good one.
So my background, my academic background is actually in astrophysics. And so playing a space-based game for me, I usually bring like a lot to that. And this one was mind-blowingly cool. And I actually I sat there when I finished it and I didn't turn the game off and I just sat there and I was like, what do I feel? Like I felt like my favorite feeling after consuming any media, like books, movies, whatever, is to feel kind of unsettled, but in a good way.
Mhm.
And this game did that. And I just felt unsettled, but in this really good way. And I was just like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, but it's like a good discomfort. I don't know how to describe it, but it's
Yeah.
play the game if you can. Do not look up anything about the game. Because for me, I had no idea what it was. I turned it on. I was like, all right, let's just see what this is. And because I experienced it with no spoilers, knowing nothing about the game, the mechanics, the premise, I was able to it's an experience, but it's an emotional one and one that I didn't expect to be as emotional as it was.
Mhm.
And
What's
then
it
if I'm
called
going
again?
with nostalgia, it's Outer Wilds, not to be confused with
Oh.
Outer Worlds, which deeply confused me at the time because I was playing Outer Worlds. I was like, are people just talking about the same game? They're getting the name wrong.
Yeah, gotcha.
Outer Wilds. And I guess if I'm going to point to another game, but one that has a lot of nostalgia for me is like the Myst series.
Okay.
So I love puzzle games. I love them a lot.
Ooh.
I love puzzle games, especially that point and click kind of puzzle game. And Myst for me as a kid, but also it's a game I've come back to again and again that to me sets the bar for like the kind of world that you can build for people. And it doesn't have any of that toxicity of like get good. Like I played a lot of multiplayer games. I played a lot of like first person shooters. I love them, don't get me wrong. But like the game that kind of feeds my soul a little bit are games like Myst. Because and I wish they would be more accessible. So I'm not boosting these games because I think they're particularly accessible. It's just for me personally, I think those games have made the most impact on both the games I think about creating and also the games that I think about buying.
I love that. I love these games. Thank y'all so much for. I'm like, I forgot that it was like we're ending the panel, or we don't have to. No, I'm just kidding. We are. Thank y'all so much.
We do.
Oh, we gotta
Jason,
We gotta play
it is
Among
murder
Us.
time. It's murder time.
Yes, is that what we do? We're okay. Among Us is about murder. I
Jess
just see
is-
astronauts.
So
Oh, no,
unsettled.
Astronauts and murder.
It's murder
But
and
looking at
space.
Ooh, Sounds like my kind of game. All right, I'm down for this.
Here we
Let's go.
Space
So,
murder.
We're gonna be continuing as soon as we cut this stream. We're gonna take like a 15-minute break. I may come back in a jacket because a bitch is cold, but that's beside the point. But we're gonna be playing some Among Us with some of our creators and our panelists from today. Thank you so much to Smallzy. Thank you to Brandon, aka Accessible Gamer. Thank you to Jess, aka Enceladorsaurus. Thank you to Oliver Snatch, aka Hydro Troop. Thank you to that J Justice. Oh, that J Justice? Yeah, that J Justice.
And thank you to you.
Oh,
Yeah,
you.
thank you to
Yeah.
you. 'cause
Yeah.
You got us.
Yes,
You
thank
got
you.
us here, and you're giving
You
us
pulled
the
this together.
you're giving us the platform to talk about these things and keep talking about these things.
let's
and
do it. We gonna do it. And also we're gonna shout outs to our panelists from the first panel. Thank you to Nikki Stones for moderating that panel. Thank you to Hope Lathie for joining us. Thank you to Hobo House for joining us. Thank you to Dominic Evans, and thank you to that J Justice for again the double time, triple time, because they're gonna be killing it in a minute.
Yep.
Also, one other really quick thank you to Team Stream Queens for helping us, for allowing us to use our platform that we have here to make this happen. And I do really quickly want to thank our mods who have been holding us down in the chat today. Aphasia Speaks,
Thank you,
Chalora,
mods.
Kiyoshi Yorha, Joy Steek, Lesbiana, London Bradshaw, Mexican Flyer, Miss Diana Hole, Nikki Stones, Opa Milk, who's Snazzy BB? Oh, I had to change my name. K Lucky Dog.
You've been working too long, girl. Forgot your own name.
You
Oh,
good?
Jesus.
I had to
Oh,
change my
no.
name so that I would appear in this slot because I forgot that SI comes before S. You know, it doesn't matter. The alphabet is long, and so is this day. Twitch.tv/StreamQueens. Stick around. I clearly need a break. We're gonna wrap up this stream and come back with more murder. And once again, happy belated birthday to
Yeah, happy
Smallzy.
birthday.
Thank you.
Stick around, friends. We'll be right
Bye.
back. Oh, and also, I'll just say this here. Panelists, I'll be back. Also, I have to change some input so that chat doesn't hear me. We're breaking the fourth wall. Be right back.
All right, perfect.
No.
Are we going into the gaming channel?
Yes. I'll meet you in gaming. Sorry. Bye.
I got
I'm ending the panel. I'll be right back.